Hello, everyone. Hello to my followers. Hello to my friends, family. Hello to everybody that is watching me. And hello also to those who have maybe they haven't watched any of my videos, but they've heard about me. Hello to you guys all. It depends on where you're watching me, right now. So it came to my attention, like a few days ago when talking to one of my colleagues that among our community, among African, community, in these states or like in America, a lot of people are still not aware of what they're doing in what way. So usually we come here, like African come here at pretty much in the late 30s or the 40s or even the 50s, and usually when they come here they gotta start, we all gotta start everything from scratch. So from zero to your country, here you become like a zero, just because you gotta go from the scratch. You gotta start from point zero and work your way out, in society or in the company where you're working. So which means that this implies a lot of things. Coming to America means that you have to change the way you do things. Back home, usually people, what they do, we got families, you know what I'm talking about, we got friends. There's always somebody you can rely on. There's always somebody that can help you, in need, when you need them, when you're suffering or whenever, you have nothing. There's always somebody that can take care of you, and they do it because they love you. And that's the beauty with Africa. That's the beauty with being in African society, in African family. We always work together. It's true that not everybody share my point of view, but we all know, Africans all know that when it's come to Africa, there's always somebody. It can be like your sister, your brothers, your whatever name you can call them, that always care about you. But when coming here, we tend to be more individual, just because things are tough. You gotta fight, your own fight. You cannot trust to anybody. You cannot believe that somebody coming from nowhere will come and help you. We all have here thousands of issues. Job is tough. You gotta be a man, to work here. You got family. You gotta take care of your whole family. You gotta hang with your family wherever you go, which wasn't the case back home. Back home, you always had somebody to help you with the kids. You always had your mom, you got your sister, you got your neighbor. You always had somebody with a good heart, that who would help you with your kids. But here it's not the case. So when we work here, when we come here, it doesn't matter how old we are. We all know that we always have to go from the scratch. I heard a lot of stories those Africans were living back in the country who had a better life, who had money, who had cars, who had almost everything they needed. And by that, their wives didn't have to work. They were just sitting at home, taking care of the kids. And life was great. They had always money. They could travel, around the world. They could do their own businesses because their husband could provide. But when we come here, it's another reality where men and women have to struggle, where men and women have to work hard, where men and women have to conjugate, together, where men and women have to come together and see what they can do together, to raise family, to start saving, to buy a house, to buy cars, to have family back home. Here, it's not a matter of one anymore, but it's a matter of two. When you married here, and then you are in a pretty much nice, a loving relationship, then whatever you do, you gotta do it together, because the two of you have become like one. But when you are in a toxic relationship, don't think about that, so you gotta work maybe individually. If you cannot work things out, with the person you're living with, it's unfortunately the divorce and whatsoever, which I do not wish to anybody to go through. So then when we work, as we're working so hard, and then they gave us the money. I mean, we get our salaries. It doesn't matter how small it is. We always have in mind that we gotta save that. We gotta always save something out of that salary. We always have to make sure that to put at least $1 out aside for the future, because you don't know, anything can happen to anyone, anytime and anywhere. That's something that only God knows, that what will happen to you or to me, like in the next few minutes. We don't know. And whenever you work hard, save some money. Save that money so that tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, you can invest it somewhere where it can generate more income for you. Because you agree with me that the kind of work that we're doing is not the kind of work that will make us rich. I mean, the one who believes that is, I don't know where he is, I don't know what kind of mind he has, but he gotta stop thinking about that. What can make you rich is the little money that you can take from your salary and put it aside, save it somewhere. And you save it some money. Why? You save it for your retirement, because you come here in your 40s. How long do you think you'll be working with the kind of job that people have here, those physical jobs and whatever, where you you cannot sleep as much as you want, where every time you gotta wake up you have like sore back, sore feet. I mean, you see what I'm talking about? So we gotta be able to save some money for our retirement and for our future generations, for our kids, for ourselves too, when we get old, when we cannot work anymore. So let's stop like spending money into anything which has no value. Some community would spend the little money that they have into buying shoes, pretty much expensive shoes, into buying like expensive outfit, clothes, jacket, skirt. I mean, all these kind of things, but it won't help, because at the end of the day, even your children, one day they will ask you, Daddy, you work for 10 years, you work for 15 years, haven't you been able to save at least a penny for yourself, or for us, or for mommy? No. Let not be this kind of people who don't think, who only think about today, but they don't think about tomorrow. Let's not be this kind of people. Let's be kind of wise people. Let's be the kind of people who plans, who have vision for the future, for themselves, for their kids, for their wives, for their mom, for their dad, for their whole family. Let's be this kind of people, this kind of person. And I'm sure that by the grace of Allah, when you do your best your whole life, when you work to save at least a penny, to save at least $1, to save at least a franc CFA, I'm sure that there's always a blessing that comes with that. With that money, like I said, someday you can take half of that money and invest it into something. There are investments that can give you more than what you expected. There are businesses that you can put yourself into that will make you rich to an extent that you won't have to bother again to wake up every morning at 6 o'clock and go to work. In winter, I guess you know what it is that getting out from your home and going to work from at 4 a.m. You know what I'm talking about. For those who are living in winter, you know what I'm talking about. And let not be that person. Let be that person that think. Let be that person who uses their brains to plan for the future. Tomorrow doesn't belong to us. I strongly agree with that. With that sentence. But we can try to plan our future. We can say to ourselves that let me save for tomorrow. Even though tomorrow doesn't belong to me, but let me save. Because tomorrow I may fall sick, I may be harassed to the hospital, I may have a member of that family which will have a problem and need somebody to help them to solve that issue out. You may receive like a call from somebody from your family that say, look, uncle, auntie, this is my situation. I need a computer, I need this, I need that, I need your help. So you gotta be able to go withdraw into that, that little saving and send it to that person. You know what I'm talking about? So let's stop using our money for useless things, for things that will never take us to heaven, for things that will never make us feel good or feel comfortable, for things that won't give us like a bright tomorrow. Let's not spend our money for that. Dress the way you can. Use that money, to buy affordable or cheap stuff, that you can use for now. Because in everything we do, it is not necessarily the today that really counts now. For me, it's like the tomorrow, because the consequences of our actions, we see those consequences like tomorrow. For each and every action you make, there's always consequence, and consequence can be positive or negative. It depends on what kind of action you make. But in terms of saving some money, it has positive, consequences. Because that money will help you when you get old. That money will help you when you want to travel around the world. That money will help you to leave like a legacy. To leave something to your kids. That money will help you, solve daily issues. That's why it's so important, to save. And I want my brothers, my sisters, from Africa, because I'm mostly like talking to them, but to anybody also who's watching me, who's listening to my channel, who's listening to me currently, let's build that culture of savings. It's one of the best culture in the world, saving, because that saving will always help you out. If it doesn't help you out, it will help out your kids. Because when we grow up and then we start having kids, everything we do, we always think about our kids. This is what I'm talking about. Those parents who are who think about their kids, who think about their family. So let's save. Let's build that culture of saving for our families, saving for ourselves, saving for our wife. Let's have that culture. It won't hurt at all. It won't kill you at all if you start saving. And never say that it's too late. That's something that I've learned when I was growing up, when I was a little kid, and when I was growing up, with my parents. They always say, never give up, because anything can happen anytime. You may become rich anytime. You just gotta believe in yourself. You just gotta build that culture of saving. You gotta just trust yourself. You gotta just work yourself. So brothers and sisters, again, please, let's stop things that are not positive for our future, but let's start building that culture of saving. Saving it's a culture, I believe, because you don't just wake up and say, I save. No, it's a culture of saving. Because you may wake up one day and say, I'll start saving, and then you save a week after, you start spending that money because you don't have that culture. So let's nourish that culture. Let's build that culture. Let's make that culture part of our culture, part of ourselves, part of our blood, part of our families, part of our friends, part of ourselves. So I really hope that, guys, you do understand me. I hope that in everything I say, there's always something that you can take that can help you tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. So thanks for listening to me, and once again, please, guys, do not forget to subscribe to my channel. It's pretty much like a new channel. I'm growing, but slowly but surely I'm growing. And just subscribe, and share, the video, share my channel, to the most people. Most of people that your friends, your family. Share the link, share the video, so that they all subscribe. I need more followers. I need bigger group of people watching my videos, because I want to make that channel stronger, for more content, for and more interesting content too. So thanks again very much. I'm on my way to work, so I'll tend to post a video pretty much to maybe next week. Thank you again, and take care of yourself and your family.